I have 3 questions for CPS. Question 1, are you planning on taking this one? Question 2, if you are, why? And question 3, if not, then why are you going to keep the other 3 if that is indeed your plan? That's my question for CPS. Because if she's an unfit mother, they need to take this one too. And if they allow her to keep this baby, then why can't she have her other 3?
Act together. If you got the charges dropped, why don't you have your kids? Why can't you get custody back? What's going on?
And also he comes with bruises and marks on him from them trying to make him, you know what I'm saying? And because it looked like that's where the hand mark was formed in the bruise.
CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho! CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho! CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho! CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho! CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho! CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho! CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho! CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho! CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho! CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho!
Tell us what happened with yourself.
2 years old, I was taken away by CPS. Other family members could have gotten me, but CPS decided to take me.
Watch
my
it, guys.
brother went through the system. They kept moving me from school to school, home to home. Was even adopted from the time I was 11 to the time I was 12, threw me back into the system. They threw me back into my mom's house when I was 18. Then I landed on the streets. And
How old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
CPS took it upon themselves to adopt my child to the sheriff. And I haven't seen her since she was 3.5 and she's 14. And her name is Catherine Elise Lohmeyer. She lives in Idaho. And so if anyone's watching, tell her I love her.
Going in and out of CPS since I was 9 years old, and I remember, I mean, it's like they kidnap you, they throw you into white vans and they tell you you have to go, and then if you run away from them, even if you're just scared of them, then they're going to pick you up and take you anyways. They nab you by the shoulders, so yeah, CPS should go.
My son was abandoned by his mother when he was 8 months old. CPS refused to let me send him back to my family because my family was struggling just as much as I was, but they had the facilities to take care of him. But they still refused, and I ended up having to give him up for adoption because of that.
I still hurt in the inside, and I haven't said this in 30 years. Your children are going to need you more than you could ever imagine. Put them in every type of therapy. Take them to church. Let them know Jesus Christ. But let them know more than anything that you love and love and love, because I have still yet not found that. because of being in the system and the abuse, I won't let anybody close enough to let me.
Bless your sweet.
And I've never told this to anybody.
Oh.
But you guys need to know this because you're going to get your children back. You're going to need to work on this.
Wake up, America. And if you had a shot right now to help people come to a place where they're saying, what am I doing? I hear about this constantly. I hear it on Facebook. I hear it on Twitter. I hear it on the news. Our children are being abused. They're being tortured. They're being raped. They're being beaten. And we're living inside of a government where it's already obvious. I mean, 911, an inside job. CPS, government-funded employees allowed to hurt our children. All of these things are going on in this country, and people are still just getting their Starbucks, watching their reality shows, and saying good luck with that. A moment now to impact America, to have them say, oh my God, how can I continue to be silent? America must help our children and get them out of the hands of U.S. government-funded employees who are paid hard-earned tax dollars to harm, murder, rape, and kidnap and torture American children throughout the U.S. and its territories. What would you say to America?
I will say to America, there has to be a change. There has to be a change. And if God's not involved, there's not going to be a change. If I was a powerful woman in this world, and I had all the money in the world, I would get every district together and I would make them each something of God, what God created from the beginning. God created this in the beginning for us to be united.
The only secret in America is that Jesus is Lord.
Yes, he
I
is.
had a passion in my heart to be a voice. And in Jeremiah 15:19, years ago, before my children were even taken from me, it's like he prepared me. Long story short, my children were taken from me after going underground and protecting them from my husband that was out to kill us all. And I was underground for 19 months in hiding. I was found. My children were taken from me and given back to this man who had a 5-time felon and a conviction of assault on my life protecting my 3-year-old son. And they were given back to him. And so from this, I went into criminal court. I was convicted of a felony, custodial interference, and it's a felon when I protected my children from going in underground and protecting them, and a misdemeanor that he beat me up to protect my child's life. Something wrong with that deadly picture.
Something very wrong.
When were they taken away initially?
November the 28th. November 26th.
We'll go ahead and just mic you up really quick. Hold those pictures out. Yeah, if she could hold that separately.
How long have you been with CBS yourself?
About 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, we're so grateful that you're here.
They separated them because, in Tucson, because they told on a little boy that was getting raped, on my little son, the little one that you saw. The 2 older brothers had told a police officer that they caught a man raping him in Gap Ministries, and they separated the brothers. And they're supposed to keep them together. Yes, they're in a foster home now here in Tucson. That's one reason why they put them here. They don't change them so much around here. Or they either, it hurts for me to walk. And I reported they have to move to another group home. But it's like, ever get your chance to ever talk with them personally, you'll find out everything.
Go ahead and start by telling me your first name, your last name, and spelling it for me.
My first name is Takeda. Williams is my last name. Teketa. Williams.
And you are in Tucson?
Yes,
Live in Tucson. Okay, what's your phone number, just so we can...
870.
Okay, and this all started in November.
That's correct.
Start from the beginning. Why were your children taken away in the beginning?
Because they said I wasn't inside of the house, in which the police seen me coming from the south end, in which that's the back of the house.
Who contacted the police initially?
They said that my children had dialed 911, but I have no recollection of that, and no phone, not one phone bill stating that that was done.
So the charges were dismissed?
That's correct.
And the children were taken away November?
The 26th.
Okay.
The children constantly coming to me crying out, Mom, we're hurting, they're hurting us. And I try to get information, when we get moments alone and they say there's no talking, you can't allow loud to whisper, so the children come crying out to me whenever they can. Whatever little moment they can get in, they cry out to me to let me know.
Do you know what group homes they're in right now?
Right now, I believe one of them may be it's in Unity, something with Unity. and that's here in Phoenix. I know they got them here in Phoenix. They took them out of Tucson, and they're making sure that the brothers aren't together because they know it'll be witnesses to the filthy things that they do to them.
For us to really get in on this story, we're going to have to get in contact with the people who have your children right now, and CPS, the caseworker, all of that.
We want our children back! We want our children back! We want our children back!
Information as you can give me about who has your children.
Yes.
We need the names of the places where these kids are staying, where they have stayed, and then the people who manage those homes.
Yes. They also had on the paper that my son Love Speed was already adopted, which that is illegal also. That's not so, because I'm still in transition of getting my children back. And all they need is somebody outside who's not in CPS and threatening them and saying, I'm going to do this to your family if you tell this, or you're not going to see your mother.
Why? How is this going on? I don't.
It's an amazing issue to a lot of people. They figure it's
going on. This is how it's going on.
With nightfall, we have to deal with those older boys raping us, and we tell the group manager and they do nothing.
So there is a police report?
Yes, we got.
We have numbers
Do
of
we
police
have
reports,
those
and they
police
are
reports?
unresponded to, all of them. And yes, we do.
But how can I get my hands on those police reports?
We have the report number. We are the ones that sent them out. I'm her child advocate, and we publish them. And so, I'll get them to you.
Police report.
The VIP cab service is owned by a group of attorneys in Scottsdale.
As far as you said they were molested, what are your children telling you happened to them?
Mom, they touched my private. Mom, they pulled my private. Mom, they make us do to another guy and to some other children. Mom, they don't give us, they deprive us from food. They fight me for trying to put on underwear. Other brother, when he was with him, noticing another man was trying to harass my son. Don't you put those underwear on, keep them off. And he used to come to a lot of business. My son loved it with underwear off. And there was an indication right there. I got your son, and you know darn well what I'm doing too.
So what happened when you filed a police report? When you contacted the police, what was the response like?
Oh, we're going to get you for making false allegations because we've got nothing.
You told the caseworker about what you thought was going on?
I already done reported everything to her, and my son has also told her, but she told him, deal with it.
What did she say?
Deal with it.
Deal with what?
Deal with him being raped. She told my son Love that. They said, Mom, she don't even care about us. Mom, she leaving us in the same position, in the same predicament. Nothing's changing. We need somebody else. Mom, you got to do something, please. So I'm not the only one going through this. Numerous other parents, they come and discover their children being molested. But we can't say anything about it unless they're going to keep your children from you, or they're going to try to sell your rights.
All right, and I'm going to ask you a question here that's probably not going to be all that comfortable, but somebody sitting at home might say, okay, if you've got your act together, if you got the charges dropped, why don't you have your kids? Why can't you get custody back? What's going on?
They was like, well, you got to get these classes completed up to a year. I'm like, but they already dropped the charges. And I was like, I done took up all the classes you asked me to. I had 2 more hours to finish today, but the lady, she called in sick.
Is that what it is? Though you just need the 2 hours of the classes, and then you fulfilled all.
That's what they say. She done did everything they wanted to do. You completed the CPS plan. Now what's the hold up?
Hey, sweetie.
Hi.
How's my baby doing?
Good.
You know we're doing everything to get you guys back home, right?
Yeah.
This is a bad organization. They're kidnappers.
In the 16 sessions of individual parenting she has completed, she appears to be aware of her poor choices as a parent and appears to have gained insight and awareness about parenting styles. The use of positive reinforcement and logical consequences as examples. Ms. Williams has also completed 16 sessions of relapse prevention sessions individually and appears to have gained insight and awareness about dangers and negative effects of alcohol and drugs and her and her family. According to Ms. Williams' supervised visit reports, it appears she is demonstrating her ability to be an active full-time parent and mother to her children It is my opinion, based on visitation reports as well as Ms. Williams' reports, including her consistency with attendance and participation, that Ms. Williams has the ability to parent her children.
Wow, congratulations getting that in writing, Takeda.
I'm here today on behalf of my daughter Sarah. I stand beside her and I defend her right to be a mother, her right to be a parent, as she has done no wrong. I demand the return of my grandsons, Isaiah, Wilfredo, and Josiah, who were kidnapped by the state of Arizona. I fight to protect my unborn grandson, who will enter this earth tomorrow. We're at the center of a storm here in Arizona, which I call the fight of our life, with Child Protective Services corruption. We all have natural sovereign rights to parent our children and natural sovereign rights as grandparents. These rights are bestowed upon us by God, our Creator, the supreme power and ultimate authority. And God proclaims in Psalms 127, verse 3, "Children are a gift from the Lord. Life affords no greater responsibility, no greater privilege than the raising of the next generation."
And at 9.5 months old, she couldn't hold herself up. She was so weak. You know what? And she had to have a cranial helmet to reshape her head that she had to wear 23 hours a day for 4 months because she just laid on her back all day being neglected.
From the time I was 8 until 18, I was in the system. I wore the court from foster home to foster home. I would get emotionally, physically, sexually. I would get burned with an iron. If I was gone for days, nobody looked for me. We would dig into the garbage can, big garbage bins, to eat because we were hungry. Nobody cared. And you know what? I see that nothing's changed. I was in the system till 18. And then after that, you just put it out into the streets. I have an adult son now that I've been raising. He has autism, and he has Tourette's syndrome, and a lot of his mental health issues are called comorbid. Well, they try to take him away from me too, stating the same generic complaint, not providing the medical care he needed. So it just keeps going on and
I took
on.
pictures of my grandsons being abused in the foster care home. My daughter got her visits stopped, cut immediately. CPS even went to the court and told the judge, tell this mother to stop taking pictures of her children because they don't want it. I mean, what better evidence can you have?
And was this in a foster home at this point?
Yes. My grandson Isaiah lost all of his teeth, and then at 4 years old they want to put him on Risperidone. Risperidone is not even approved by the FDA for children under 5.
What is Risperidone?
Risperidone is an antipsychotic drug, and it almost killed my autistic son twice, and they're still trying to force me to make him take it. Crystal Nettle here is running for Senate, and nobody has got the guts to come out here and help these parents. But they've told her coming out here and being an advocate for these parents is suicide.
I became an advocate for children. I became a certified court watcher.
You just have a copy of it. The best way to get in touch with me is email or cell phone. Yeah.
What's the cell phone?
Thank you. I said if you could just start forwarding me all that stuff because
Yes.
I need as much as I can.
CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho! CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho! CPS has got to go! CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho! CPS has got to go, hey, hey! Ho, ho! CPS has got to go! Each one of us is standing here has got our children taken away unjustly.
Bring our children back.
Child Protective Services, and I'd like to show a few people who could actually stop the kidnapping, the raping, the school beatings, the torture, and all the other criminal behavior. This campaign is called Arizona Operation Let My People Go, AZ-OP. And the objective of this organization is for having U.S. government-funded employees honor U.S. federal protective laws for U.S. citizens who are under the age of 18. Now, Who can stop this? Well, Tom Horn. What is his position?
He's the Attorney General for the state of Arizona. He represents CPS.
Okay, and then we have Clarence Carter.
He's the director of the Arizona Department of Economic Security, who oversees Child Protective Services.
And then we have Arizona Governor Jan Brewer.
She's the ringleader.
And then we have Attorney Bill Montgomery.
He's the prosecuting attorney in the state of Arizona, and he's responsible for prosecuting criminals, especially the criminals that kidnap our children.
Okay, so we already have the most important people. What about this man right here?
Sheriff Joe? I'm not real sure what Sheriff Joe does except targets immigrants in the state of Arizona.
All right, and now my specialty is USA school beatings, where the #1 man is John Klein, U.S. Education Committee Chairman, and I'd like Mom and Dad to know out there, he's also a member of the U.S. Armed Services. I don't know how you feel about having an education committee who also serves on the Armed Forces Services, but the Armed Services, but I don't feel comfortable knowing that the same person who is over bombs and bullets is also over whether a child's buttocks is battered with a wooden board already deemed a deadly weapon by the U.S. Supreme Court Justice. John Klein, U.S. Education Committee Chairman, can stop the beatings. Then we have Arnie Duncan. Arnie Duncan is the U.S. Education Secretary, and he is doing absolutely nothing. This is the wooden board that is used, and these are the types of bruises that happen every 20 seconds in American schools, and that's reported. That's the very best case scenario. As a matter of fact, every 4 minutes an American school child needs emergency medical treatment because this deadly weapon is used on their buttocks. This is an oak board, and it is firm, and it is breaking tailbones daily in American schools. Then we have George Miller. If there is anybody who has been beaten in the years, in the 80s, the 90s, the new millennium, this man could have had your beatings come to an end, but he continued. For 27 years, George Miller, posing as somebody who cares about American school children, is failing to support Ending Corporal Punishment in Schools Act, U.S. federal legislation for ending school beatings. That's George Miller. He's been on this and watching kids be abused, paralyzed, and even die from being beaten in American schools, and he is doing nothing. Then we have Tom Harkin over here. Tom Harkin is on the Senate, and he is able to have at least, they have to have 60 members vote for this bill, 60 members. I called Tom Harkin's office. He said that he was too busy to support ending school beatings because they are working on their budget. They're more concerned with the budget than the children being beaten, so Tom Harkin sent me away. And the red-colored states are all of the states where school beatings are still occurring in America, just like on old slave masters' plantation. These are the men who could be stopping it, and here is the typical victim. Black male American. I'm sure no one out there is surprised.
Whenever they have a pattern in practice and they're conspiring and colluding, that is a form of RICO. That is organized crime where they're taking these children for profit, period. When they have evidence in the court, and Tom Horn has our evidence, Bill Montgomery has our evidence, and so does CPS and 20 judges. And they all ignore the evidence. That's a violation of due process. That's a violation of your civil rights. Now, when police come to my house and they tell me that they can break in and they don't have to have a warrant, and that doesn't violate my due process, I don't know what Constitution they're reading from, but not the ones that my forefathers wrote.
Together, if you got the charges dropped, why don't you have your kids? Why can't you get custody back? What's going on?
If
going on?